Welcome, everybody, to the Illinois State Fairgrounds. We've got a big, thrilling day of racing for you today. It's the main event here at the Springfield Mile, the 18th race of the NASCAR 1-Up Retro season, and we're excited to bring it to you. I'm alongside Duke Ansack for today's main event, and this track is unlike anything we've ever come to before, and it's unlike anything we'll ever go to since. It's a dirt track, a flat dirt track, with a lot of dust being kicked up. What's the biggest key to getting around this track fast and keeping your car intact?
Well, the key is going to be to not look like you're racing on dirt. So it's a bit difficult to understand, but you want to not be sliding quite so much. You want to go straight through the corners so that you can keep your speed up, keep your momentum up, and then you can launch down the straightaways. So the people who don't look like they're racing on dirt are going to be going the fastest today.
Another key factor to keep an eye on, these grill openings on the front of these cars are not very big, and they can fill up with dirt and mud pretty quickly. So overheating is a key issue we're going to have to keep an eye on. We'll have to see if some cars have to make a trip down pit road to clear the grills off of the mud that builds up on these cars, because one slip up on overheating can really ruin your race.
Absolutely.
And with qualifying taking place, you saw it live here on this same network a while ago. With the heat races and the last chance qualifier, we can give you the full starting lineup for today's race. And the winner of Heat 1, Ricky Freeman Jr., starts on the pole position, with Heat 2 winner Jacob Johnson alongside him. The rest of the Heat winners, Brandon Beal, Chris Maley, Joshua Michaels, and Arthur Xavier, start in positions 3 through 6, while last chance qualifier winner Justin Hutchinson will start 31st. Someone we should keep an eye on, though, there's a lot of people we should be keeping our eye on, though, because this race is the king of unpredictability, even more so than the restrictor plate tracks. So, should we expect to see cars make our way through the field like we saw last time at Kansas? It's a completely different track.
Yeah, so we were expecting a little bit of something out of Kansas, and what we got was not at all what we expected. So, quite frankly, I'm going into this race with the only expectation that I have is that it's going to be a thriller, and I'm so excited to watch.
And with that being said, the cars are ready to line up, we're ready to line up, and all the fans here at the fairgrounds are ready for us to go as well. We'll take you to green flag shortly. And the field is rolling through turns 3 and 4. We've got Ricky Freeman Jr. and Jacob Johnson, both looking for their first career wins. Actually, we've got we got 5 out of our 6 heat winners are all looking for their first career wins. The only one not is Chris Maley in 4th. He won at Monza. The pace car is off. We're ready to go racing, and Ricky Freeman Jr. is going to take us to the green flag. The green is out. The flag is down. We are racing in the main event here at the Springfield Mile.
Oh, and what a beautiful sight it is to see the start of the main event here. You got cars going in turn 1, and they're slip sliding already. 03 is on the outside there.
Yeah, the outside lane is not going to be the fast way around. We saw that during the heat races. And look at Ricky Freeman Jr. get a whale of a start, and Brandon Beal's going to get by for second. That inside lane is going to be your best friend, because you definitely don't want to get up into that lighter brown cushion, which we've seen a few times before. Because if you get up there, you're going to have no grip whatsoever on this wet dirt down here, this grayer wet dirt here, as Ricky Freeman Jr. takes the lead, but Brandon Beal's closing up behind him.
Yeah, he's catching up. I think that I noticed a little bit in the last couple of corners that there's a little bit of diamonding going on. So they'll enter the corner real low, slide up in the middle, and then come back low on the exit of the corner. And it looks like the 37 is doing that just a little bit better than the leader right now.
Yeah, Brandon Beal's actually missed a couple races lately, so this is a perfect opportunity to showcase his talents in the Home Depot Dodge, and he's making it work. But here comes Joshua Michaels in the similarly painted 04. But Henry Thomas is actually making a nice drive. He started 11th, and in just 3 laps, he's made his way up to 4th now.
Yeah, and this is a big gaggle of cars that he's leading right now.
With King and Blair side by side for position, Ace in the 24, Porkins in the 16. But right now it's Henry Thomas that leads that group, closing in on Jacob Johnson for the 4th position. And then Thomas is going to go for it. He's got a fast car under him.
Yeah, and this is something that a different style of racing really brings out the talents of people that you might not see always up front or maybe they're running mid-pack usually. In this race, it might just suit their driving style a little bit better. And wow, that is a lot of cars going in the corner all at once right there. That's incredible.
It's a beautiful sight to see here at the Springfield Miles. Braden Saul, who's missed the last few races, has started up in the top 10, and that's where he's currently running, and is doing a good job of maintaining his track position as this giant pack of cars goes. And we've got a lead change for the first time today. Brandon Beal takes the lead.
Yeah, he was running that line. He was exiting a little bit lower off the corners, and I think that ended up working out for him a lot better than the leader was. So we'll see if maybe the the 56 car can learn a little bit from the 37 now that he's running behind instead of ahead.
And perhaps he can, but he's going to have to hold off Joshua Michaels in the 0-4 because he's right on the back bumper of Ricky Freeman Jr. as Brandon Beal starting to set sail past all these cars. The lead, we saw this during the heat races. You can get a big lead, but you got to be careful because you can lose that lead just as quickly with the slightest of mistakes. And Brandon Beal's just got to keep from making mistakes. It's still really early in this race, so anything can still happen.
Absolutely, and a lot of the time for those of you who are keen to watching dirt racing, you might notice that there is a little bit of an outside lane here, but the cars just don't produce enough power, it seems, and there's not quite enough banking for that outside lane to really give the advantage that it might in a sprint car race or race with cars that have more power, more grip.
And Henry Thomas continues his charge to the front. He's going past Jacob Johnson in the 0-3. This one car has not had very much success since his win at Pikes Peak, but he's putting on a good show here today. He started 11th, and he's making the charge up to 4th as you can see him hug that inner guardrail going for 4th place.
Yeah, and there he goes. You can see it right there. You just lose too much time on the outside lane in the corner to be able to have any advantage down the straightaway of speed. So, but yeah, that one car, he's really moving up through this pack. I'm excited to see if he can get up to the leaders and see if he can take them down, because that car is looking sporty right now.
Jacob Johnson's dropped a little bit. He started 2nd. He's back to 5th, but he's going to make a charge. He's going to make a charge. A lot of cars are making charges. Ooh, and was there contact there between Maley and Gale? These guys got to be careful, though, that they don't wash up down to make so much of a dive that they get down into the inside guardrail, because that'll really ruin their corner. As they go 3 wide here, Thomas is slowing. We've got
there's a problem here. Oh, no.
He was doing so well in the early goings, but Thomas is slowing dramatically down the front straight. He's holding up Jack Porkins and Kevin Carter behind him. This is not what that one car wanted to see, and there's contact.
Oh, no. This is really not good. What a fast race car. All of a sudden, I'm not sure what the issue is, but this certainly does not look good at all.
And as cars scatter trying to get by, it's not that wide a racetrack. You can't really have a lot of room to pass. And they're driving by like he's standing still.
Yeah, it looks like he's racing a golf cart now. What an unfortunate event. One going to the outside. That's not going to work out.
That's Josh Drake. That's Josh Drake, and he actually is going to make it work, but at the expense of losing a couple spots.
Yeah.
And going back, we've got a lead change once again while we were keeping an eye on Henry Thomas. Wow. Joshua Michaels has taken the lead away from Ricky Freeman Jr. This 0-4 car has had some pace. He showed it at Kansas. He showed it at Ricky Raceway. And now he's taken the lead here at Springfield. Good run for the 0-4. Yeah.
Looks like maybe another move for the lead. The 56 is going low, but I was going to say maybe these guys learned a little bit from the 37 car back there. And in fact, that's not the top 10 anymore. Here's the one car on the pit lane.
Yeah, they finally got him to pit road. They needed to address the issue with his car. And as he pulls into his pit stall, a little rough on the entry, obviously just to show obviously he's disappointed with how his race is going. He had such a strong car in the early going as Freeman takes the lead back.
Yeah, he absolutely did. That's a big shame, but they'll rebound. It'll be all right.
He'll go down a couple laps here as we go back to... Ooh, that was close. Herman and Carter almost came together there ahead of Lane Sanders. And Santinoto, actually, he's running in the top 15. He started last in just 13 laps. He's made his way up there. Good drive by the 00.
Yeah, he's doing all right for driving on the outside. He was one of the ones that I believe he was stuck behind the one car for a lap or so, maybe a half lap there. So it's good to see him moving back up through the pack, gaining the positions that he lost.
As we now go back up to the front, we see Brandon Beal has passed Ricky Freeman Jr., and behind them, that's a battle between Michaels and it looked like Johnson, but Beal has taken the lead back from Freeman. We've had several different lead changes already, and we're only at lap 15.
Yeah, this has been good racing between these top three, and of course a fourth has just entered the mix now in the 03 car. They're side by side for the lead going through the corner now. This is awesome.
Freeman looking for his first win, Beal looking for his first win. The entire top six are all looking for their first career wins, and we all know how close Jacob Johnson got at Chicagoland before he washed up the track and got the win stolen by Miles Mashburn. But look at how they're fanning out in these corners. There's no bad lane to run here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're seeing right now, and this battle for the lead is still intense. I can't even believe this. They're making dive bombs every single corner.
And don't look now, but if these cars keep battling, Jacob Johnson, King in the 18, Michaels in the 04, they're all going to catch up. Because now Johnson's drawing a bead on the 37 for position, and they need to settle this out soon because that 03 is coming in a hurry.
Absolutely. And, you know, the 03 he's a guy that you want to keep your eye on this race. I mean, started outside pole, he won his heat race, so it's definitely not a car to put away and say, I don't know if he's going to do it, because he's definitely up there and he's got some speed under that hood.
As we go back up to the front, Ricky Freeman Jr. is taking the lead back, and he's starting to pull a gap on Brandon Beal as Johnson goes down to the inside, almost made contact, but he knows better than to bang up his race car too badly here.
Yeah, you want to save something for the end of this race. You know, it's intense right now, but nobody's really beating and banging quite yet. You want to save that until about lap 69, I think. It's lap 69, you might be able to use the bumper a little bit and get away with it.
Yes, and let's see how many of these cars are still in contention when we get to that point. As these grills are starting to fill up, you might actually need to use the bumper on your fellow competitors to wipe the mud off to try and keep your grill openings as clear as possible, because I'm not sure if that's what happened to the one car or not, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on, because these cars do not do well when they run too hot.
Yeah, 37 got real close right there. I wonder if that's what he was doing there. It's interesting because if you look at the grill opening on the Chevys, that top bar, that's not the grill opening. The grill opening is the bottom bar. That's where the air goes into the radiator. And if you compare that to the Dodge's grill opening is that area right there, and it's not really it's not really quite as low as the Chevys, so they might have an easier time, those in the Dodges, to clean off their bumpers using another car if they can. Right now, 37 just lost the spot, though.
And the 42 car of Kyle Corbett has lost his motor. He's already out of the race at lap number 20. Our first victim of the overheating bug here at Springfield. Kyle Corbett will not see the end of this one. But Ricky Freeman Jr. continues to lead this race. King is actually closed right up on these guys. He's within half a second of the lead, and he showed his speed at Kansas as well, and at Charlotte, and at pretty much every track we've been to. He's really doing very well in the points as well.
Yeah, he's really showing them something right here. It'd be good for him to get a win. I mean, of course, it'd be good. Anybody who gets a win, it's going to be good for him because they're gaining points and stuff. But definitely, if you can win on and run well on all these different types of tracks, that's got to be a confidence booster for sure. There he goes into the corner, really slidey. King
went into this race 5th in the point standings, and he's looking to gain more as he goes underneath Joshua Michaels as 03 starts to slowly close in on Ricky Freeman Jr. Excuse me, that's the 37 of Brandon Beal. Those cars are so similarly painted, it's easy to get them confused every once in a while. And look at that blue car in the back. That's Blair in the 69. She started pretty far back in the field, and she's making her way up. Remember, she was running 3rd at the end of the Kansas race when her fuel tank let go. So she wants redemption from that finish as well.
Yeah, that Kansas race really was a heartbreaker for so many people. So yeah, redemption today is going to be definitely good. 37. That was a weird little situation there. It looked like he got up under the 18 and then got a little bit loose and had to save it, walk it up the track a little bit there. He didn't lose all that much time though. It's all good.
And Thomas is back on pit road to address some issue, trying to pull some tape off, wipe the grill clean, and he's back out. He's 5 laps down and in no shape to contend for the win, but he's going to log some laps. Hopefully some attrition will help him up through the field a little bit, and he's back out on the track.
Yep, got to keep on trying.
This is and Seth Taylor is slowing a little bit. He's off the pace a tiny bit. Remember, he finished 3rd in the last chance qualifier to advance into the main event. So tough showing from the 32, but he'll rebound. He has a win under his belt already. He'll come back for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a battle for the lead right here, though. The 03, he's going for it this time.
And
we'll see if he can do it.
Jacob Johnson's making the move. Will it stick? And it looks like it will against Ricky Freeman Jr. That bottom lane is the passing lane here. You can hold your own again on the high side as you see Ricky Freeman Jr. take it to the 03, but you just can't make passes up there. And Jacob Johnson showed that right there as he took the lead back.
Yeah, that outside lane isn't helping anybody right now, but the 03 has moved up to the front of this field, and I think that he plans on staying there for a while.
Don't look now, but there's more cars up in the top 10. Miles Mashburn in 8th, the one who took the win from Jacob Johnson at Chicagoland. Jake McMillan started way deep in the field. He started 27th, and he's already up in the top 10 at 9th. Good run from the 6th car. This will be his final race with this livery on his car. He'll have it changed up for the next race at Pensacola. But behind him, Braden Saul staying steady in the top 10.
Absolutely. This is some good racing here. They've kind of strung out. They're being a little bit calm, except for the leaders, of course. Here comes the 57 making a move for the lead, and I see that King has also made it into 3rd place. He's clear for 3rd, and he's gaining on these guys as long as they're racing each other.
Fastest car on the racetrack that lap actually was not the 03 or the 56, not even the 18. It was that 24 car of Ace.
Wow.
In 6th position. He's 2 seconds back now, but we'll see what kind of charge he can make. As he was the fastest car on the track the last 2 laps now.
Yeah, that's impressive. He's running so far back there. I guess he's probably got some, well, clean air, as clean as they can get on a dirt track. But he's making a charge. I'm interested to see if he can get up there.
Despite having made every single race this season, that 24 car is 32nd in points. Remember, he had a bad penalty at Charlotte for cutting across the track in front of the entire pack trying to get to pit road. So he's trying to make up a big haul of points really quickly. And there you see him there briefly trying to get around Blair and Beal as we've got another side-by-side battle. These guys won't leave each other alone.
Yeah, they're going back and forth, crossover after crossover. And I'm sure that King in the 18 is absolutely loving it.
He's getting closer. He just chopped
another!
They're swapping lanes back and forth every set of corners, it feels like, and King chopped off 0.2 of a second out of that lead, and he's gaining on these guys by a big margin. And we've got a new 4th place car, and it's that 24. He's gaining time, but I'm not sure. We've still got 40 laps to go, so anything can happen here in this main event.
Yeah, he's definitely got enough time to get up there. And, you know, I think that this battle for the lead, side by side with the 56 and the 03, it's just going to let this whole pack catch right up to him.
As I say, Ace took 4th place. Beal managed to hold him off at the line, but I'm sure Ace will be able to take it back without too much difficulty later on. As Johnson cements his lead over Freeman, Freeman can't really gain on him this set of corners, but King is right there, and he's really looking to take advantage of these two. As you see the 32 of Taylor on pit road, they probably need to wipe the grill off a little bit there. He'll go a lap down, but it's still, like we said, there's still 38 laps to go in this race, so anything can still happen.
Yeah, I think that this is a good opportunity for King in the 18 there to, well, as they were single file, it was a good opportunity, but he might have been able to start working on the 56 to make a pass, but they're getting back after it. And I'm looking behind King as well, and he's got a line of cars behind him. So.
And second in points is on pit road, J.D. Martin in the 26 is on pit road. Tough break for him. He came into this race second in the standings after holding the points lead for the majority of the season. It's a tough break for him, as he'll likely go a lap down as well, trying to get that dirt off the car, although with that paint scheme, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell the difference.
Yeah, and I'm noticing that lapper now, who just came off of the pit road, might be impacting these leaders, those who are maybe behind King in the 18. I can't quite tell, but he might get in the way a little bit. Hopefully not.
King's actually been passed for third. It's the 24 of Ace that's moved into third
Oh.
now. And he's 0.8 of a second behind, and he'll definitely be closing in that gap. You see, he's right on the bumper of Freeman.
Wow.
This 24 is going places.
Yeah, he is fast right now.
And as you see,
like
the lap car of Seth Taylor is behind King. And shot to the bumper of the 56.
I don't know if I think he just got a really good run off of the corner right there. He's running a line lower than everyone else right now.
And Freeman can maintain the spot for a little while, but it's going to be tough to hold back this DuPont Chevrolet of Aces, as Chevrolets battle for the first three spots. Two Toyotas, fourth and fifth, and the Dodges of Beal and Saul, then Blair's Chevrolet, Mashburn's Chevrolet, and the first Ford is Jake McMillan in 10th. But here comes Ace, and he's going to try and take the second spot away from Freeman, and Johnson is just trying to scoot away from all of them.
Yeah, he's finally going to get clear right here, it looks like. He was working on him for a couple laps after he first got right next to him. It was it was really so fast, and then he was working on him for a couple laps here, but looks like he's going to get him this time. He's going to head for the leaders.
Martin back on pit road to address the overheating issues on his car. He'll drop a few more laps off the pace, but Ace is clear for second place, and he's drawing a bead on Jacob Johnson for the lead. Do not count out this 24 by any stretch.
Absolutely, he is on a tear right now. Don't expect it to stop anytime soon.
And as this 26 blends in, you see Dale Johnson exit turn
there
4.
He goes.
There he goes. Ace is going for it. And don't look now, but here comes Seth Taylor trying to get one of his laps back the hard way.
Yeah, he has been racing these guys hard. I mean, when you're presented with the opportunity to race with the leaders, get your sponsor some airtime, you know. That's what you got to do.
And Ace is clear, and he is pulling away from these guys by quite a margin, as Freeman and Johnson, once again, these two have been beside each other all race long, and now they've got Seth Taylor for company trying to get his lap back.
Yeah, this is becoming an interesting battle with the 32 in there, because they're trying to defend the 32 and race with each other for position.
And there he goes down to the inside. Freeman's going to try and copy Ace's line down into the corner, and it looks like he'll be able to maybe clear the 03, and it looks like he'll be able to do that.
32 is coming with him. Here comes the 18, making it 3 wide.
3 wide for the position. Ooh, is that a bumper from the 32 to the 03?
Like there's some contact.
And they washed up the track. That's going to allow King to get alongside the 03, and that's allowed Arthur Xavier in the 95 to close in, along with Braden Saul. It's now a 5-car battle for second place, as Ace has opened up a 1.1 second lead already.
That's incredible that he is flying right now around this course, and I can't even believe that. You have to wonder if the 1 car would have been like that had he not had that issue. But right now we're seeing it with the 24. He's way out there.
Stat for the season, Ace is the only driver to have started every race this season to have not finished inside the top 10. Will that change here today? He's got a very fast car under him, and he might get that first top 10 in the form of a victory here at Springfield.
Yeah, that's a great example. I remember mentioning it earlier, but there are some drivers that maybe they weren't doing so good on the other styles of tracks, but then you come to this track. It's so unique. It's the only time that this series does something like that, and just the skill set of the driver behind the 24 car really is showing here, and he is absolutely running away with it right now.
And as we check on the fastest lap point, King holds that, as Ace has picked up another 10th on Ricky Freeman Jr. It's now a 1.2 second lead. and 4.2 separate the entire top 10 back to Blair in the 69 and 10th. But Ace is just checking out from this field. He is gone as we're well past the halfway point of this race now.
Yeah, lap 42 of 70 right now. We're going to see if anybody has anything for him. It looks like the 32 now is passing for what would be second if he was on the lead lap. We'll see. Maybe the 32 gets up there, catches Ace at the 24, and and then maybe he'll hold him up.
And look at the grill opening on the Toyotas. That's even smaller than the Chevrolet's grill opening.
Yes,
so that explains why Taylor had to make an early pit stop to try and wipe that tiny grill opening clean. I feel like the Toyotas are at the biggest disadvantage when it comes to the grill opening. We'll have to check on Jake McMillan's Ford the next time we see him, see what kind of grill opening they have on the Ford camp. But so far, the Chevys and the Toyotas appear to be lacking, while the Dodges appear to have the best outcome as far as grill openings go. And actually, looking at the Ford, they have an even smaller grill opening than the Toyotas do.
Yeah, though it looks like it's placed up higher like the Dodges are, so they might be able to get underneath somebody and actually scrape it off. See that the black in the grill on the Fords is where it opens, I believe. So
using Jeffrey Finguy as an example in that 92, look at that black bar on the front of his car. That's where the grill opening is, and it might pay dividends for the Fords if they can get up to the front. But so far, we've only got one Ford in the top 10, and that's Jake McMillan looking back through the rest of the field. See, Oxendine's doing well, making his first start in a while. Paul McKinney showed some muscle in his heat race. Jordan Presto made his first start in 2 races, and he's doing pretty well in the top 25. Alexa Lutchin's not having a good day, nor is Nick Ortiz. They started on points at the back of the field. Cal Farrell, after the heartbreak at Kansas, needed a good run, not getting it here. Molina's having a good run in the 23 up in the top 30. Bobo Jones, Stephen Hunter, the points leader, is not by any means having a good day, and that could allow King to catch him in the standings. With Gale in the 75 battling for position, Johnson, and Joshua Michaels is actually bringing up the rear of the field. He was at the top 5 early in this race, and he has that Dodge grill opening, so I don't think it's the overheating that was an issue on the 04. I'm just not sure what it is.
Yeah, he might have gotten out of the groove, maybe made some contact with the wall or something like that. And we talk about these grill openings and the advantages and disadvantages that they bring, but it is not hurting Ace right now in the lead. He is pulling away.
Although Seth Taylor did get by him to unlap himself, so Seth Taylor is now only 1 lap down in the 32.
Though he's got fresh stuff. He just made a pit stop, so that might be part of it.
I'm honestly not sure if the tires are making that much of a difference, though, because this is a dirt surface. The tires don't fall off nearly as bad on the dirt as they do on the asphalt. So interesting to see if there's any tire fall off in this race, and if there is, how it will affect these cars.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he could unlap himself again, and then come back through and fight for a position higher than the one he's in. That's going to take a lot with only 20 laps to go here.
It's going to take a lot, but if there's anyone who can do it, it's Seth Taylor, because remember at Ricci Raceway, he charged from a deep starting spot to take the win, although that was on a super speedway, mind you. So take that as you please, as the battle for second intensifies between Ricky Freeman Jr. and King in the 18. They're battling for position, and Braden Saul's actually moved up to 4th. Johnson's fallen back to 6th place in the L3, so maybe not as good on the long run as we had anticipated for the L3.
Yeah, and we were talking about the 18. He was making this big charge up through the pack, and we were like, man, he's going to be fighting for the lead soon, and then all of a sudden he stalled out in 3rd place, given he has passed the 03, but still he is in 3rd place, and he's getting passed now. So
by the 78 of Braden Saul, and as those 2 cars are also painted very similarly, the black and green of the 18 and the 78. Yeah. But it looks like King will be able to hold him off for now. But Braden Saul's having a really good run. Remember, his only top 10 of the season came at Ricci Raceway, where he finished 2nd to Seth Taylor. So Saul's looking for another top 10 to help his chances for next season. So we'll see what happens, but King's closing in on the 56, if that either, because King's got a faster car or Freeman made a mistake. Either way, that's going to be a side-by-side battle here really soon.
Yeah, it looks like he's setting up a move right now going into the corner. This, of course, is going to bring them farther away from the 24 unless the 18 can get by him right now. And it looks like he might be able to clear him off the corner.
One thing we
He's
haven't
not going to
discussed
slide
yet.
up. Wise move.
One thing we have yet to discuss in this broadcast is the pit window. We have not seen these cars have only gone a maximum of 20 laps at a time in the last chance qualifier, and we're already going on lap 52. As of this morning of the race, teams were told they could go about 68 to 71 laps on a tank of fuel. And
of course,
as we go on board with the 24, some might make it, some might not make it. We'll figure it out. Look at how bumpy of a ride this is, riding with the 24.
Oh, yeah, it's got to really shake you around in that car, I have to say. Of course, it is a dirt surface, so you can't expect anything less than a really bumpy ride. But
looking back at the battle for second between King and Freeman, that's now a 2.3-second lead that the 24 is built. Almost unheard of on this dirt track, but it's an impressive run by the DuPont Chevrolet driver.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because you have to think if he's going faster, he might be using more fuel. So you have to watch out for those last couple of laps because this could all come to a grinding halt for Ace if he runs out of fuel.
We don't want another repeat of what happened with Cal Farrell at Kansas, but it might very well happen as Ace closes in on it. Looks like Joshua Michaels coming off a 2. He's the next car to go out down. But man, would you imagine if that happened twice in a row on 2 very different racetracks, mind
you? Yeah, it's just the amount of laps and how much fuel these cars can take. It's right there for these 2 races. It happens that it's just barely on the edge. So it's gonna be interesting, and I'm excited to get there. We're pretty close.
We're coming up on 10 laps to go. This looks like Ace's race to lose as he's got a 2.4-second lead unless one of these guys makes a big charge. I'm not sure if they're able to catch him.
Yeah, and it looks like the 56 has fallen to 4th place as well, behind the 18 and the 78. That's just a circumstance of not having the car set up for the long run. They might have missed something, just not realizing what the long run would entail at this place, because the heat races and the last chance qualifier were all short races, so of course you want to be faster for those, get a better starting spot.
And these cars were impounded between the last chance qualifier and the race itself, so no chance to work on the car. Although Ace actually finished second in his heat, so he's got a good car all around. As Michaels peels off, likely headed the pit road in the 04 to wipe the grill off a little bit, maybe get the fuel he needs to finish this thing. But yeah, tough break for the 04. He had such a good run early, but not quite what he needed to finish this thing off.
Yeah, that's a shame. He was up there. He led a couple laps, I believe, and now it's all going south for him.
Yeah, but we can't worry about that for too long, as now the battle is now for the second spot, and it looks like King's actually closed the gap. He gained half a second, actually 3/4 of a second on Ace that last lap. He's now down to 1.5 seconds. We're coming to this is 11 laps to go right here, so we could see something really exciting happen. He closed in another 10th, but he needs to gain more than that if he wants to catch Ace. He needs to gain at least 3/10 a lap, 4/10 a lap if he wants to catch Ace. This is helping, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, and a couple laps ago we saw Ace. He had to go really high through the corner so that he could avoid the 04 coming into the pit lane. I think that had something to do with it, and maybe he just hasn't found his groove again. We'll see this time by.
Marginal, very marginal of a gain. That's not going to be enough. He needs to gain like 10 times that amount if he wants to catch the 24. I could be wrong, though, and there may be some lap traffic that'll play a factor in this, but unless King gets a move on, or unless Saul gets a move on, because they're the only 2 cars, really, that can contend to beat this 24 car right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the 24 is finally realizing maybe that he is not going to make it on fuel, and he's starting to save just a little bit. That could have something to do with it. hardly any change there, too.
What did change, though, was Braden Saul gained on King, and he's going to make the move for second. King might have used the stuff up. Maybe Braden Saul has saved enough to where he can make a run at Ace now. If King ran out of juice in his car and can't really contend, maybe he's letting Braden Saul go to say, hey, you give it a shot.
Yeah, I think that that's a fair move for sure. The 18 doesn't want to hold him up anymore. He doesn't want to get his bumper beat off by 70.
And look at the gap. Look at the gap now. It's down to 8 tenths. Saul is on a haul here.
He found something. He found something in that bottom groove. That or he is now good on fuel because it is closing up.
Yes, and we've got 9 of the top 10 are all looking for their first career win in the series. The only winner so far this season in the top 10 is Chris Maley in 7th, having a solid run in the top 10. But we're getting some very good odds that we'll have another first-time winner here this season.
Yeah, look at that. The gap has closed even more. He, at this pace, is going to get there.
Although Joshua Michaels exiting the pits, will that play a factor? As you see Michaels come out right alongside King, and with fresher tires and a full tank of fuel, will Michaels have something for these front runners as we get to the late stages here?
Yeah, we'll see, because while the 78 is catching, King also is catching as well. Both of them at the same pace. So we'll see. We'll see if they can get there and maybe have something for the 24, you know, because getting there is one thing and passing him is another. So
that gap's actually grown a little bit. It's a back up to 3/4 of a second, but Braden Saul is closing it down on the back straightaway. He's got that straight line speed that he really needs, but Ace, I don't know if he's got the cornering speed he needs to clear, but he's coming up on some lap traffic here. He's coming up on the 75 and the 52 with Steven Gale. These two are going to be side by side in front of him. And Ace may be in a weak spot here.
This is going to be tough when you got two cars battling side by side like that with each other. That's not good because it is going to slow him down, and the 78 is now in the same shot as the 24 is.
And
here he is! Oh my gosh!
Hey, remember me, says Braden Saul as he goes underneath Ace to try and take the lead. These lap cars are Ace's worst nightmare, as Saul's going to try and make it 3 wide going in the quarter. There's contact! There's contact between Gale and the 52 and Ace and the 24. That's going to let Braden Saul get underneath Ace. This is the battle for the win we've been wanting to see all season long between Ace, Saul, and King in the 18 is still there, and more contact, between the 75 and the 78. The 78 slowing. The 78's going to pit road.
He's going into the pits. He can't make it on fuel. My goodness!
It's not the fuel. The contact with the 75. But the contact with the 75 must have broke a radiator line on that 78, and he is.
Now King is in the lead.
King is taking the lead with 4 laps to go. He's smooth sailing on for his first career win in this series. This has been a chaotic final few laps, and we've still got 3 to go coming to the line.
Yeah, and Ace is right here, and he does not want to let this one slip through his hands. Here he goes with a big run off the corner, not quite enough.
As you see, the gap is growing between King and Ace. Going down in the 1, once again, you see a couple cars coming out of the pits. Mashburn in the 72, Blair in the 69. They had some really strong runs going, but now they have... Right in front of the leaders as they're slowing. If we got a yellow on the track, finally, for the first time, on lap 68, this race is going to end under caution. Yes, it will. The pit... It looks like Jack Halleck blew the motor, dropped fluid on the track. Jack Halleck was running 10th. He was doing so well. But the motor expired on the 4 car, and he will be out of the race. This race is going to end in the yellow, and the leaders! They can't make it!
Oh my goodness!
Who's going to come out? Who's going to come out first? We're coming to 2 laps to go. Who is going to come out of this first? I believe it's going to be Jacob Johnson in the 03. Is he in position now?
What a turn of events! I mean, rolling around under caution, you can't imagine that that's going to take up more fuel than running at pace, but I guess these guys just couldn't go any longer.
The pit window was 65 to 71, and they just couldn't make it to 70.
Wow.
Ace is cleared of pits. King is still sitting in the pits trying to repair damage to his car sustained in those battles. Ace is coming out of the pits. His chances of winning are over. Tough break for the 24. He was doing so well as the 3 exits right behind him. We're going to have to figure out who's taking the lead of this thing, because the scoring has not yet updated as to who's leading this race. It's a mystery as far as who's going to take the checkered flag here.
This is incredible. I cannot even believe that. We're about to find out, I believe, going into the white flag lap.
If my memory serves me right, I believe Jacob Johnson is going to win this race because he was running in the top 10 and he was the first car I saw to stay out. So it looks like Jacob Johnson's currently being shown in 3rd. Let's see when the scoring updates itself. There's Jacob Johnson. And as the scoring updates, the 75 is the lap down, 72 is the lap down. Yes, it's updated. Jacob Johnson is your leader. And King is still on pit road, going down a lap. But Jacob Johnson's going to lead. Jack Porkins in 2nd. Michael Edwards 3rd. Nick Ortiz is 4th. Elaine Sanders 5th. What an upset this is becoming. The top 10 has been completely shaken up.
Yeah, you have to wonder. I mean, a lot of these guys were kind of in the back. Of course, the 03 was fighting for the lead a little bit there, but they were kind of running around in the back, and I guess that they were saving fuel back there.
And it certainly paid off because none of these cars, except for the 03, were running up front. Look at Alexa Lutchen and Bobo Jones. They were struggling.
56 is stopped on the track.
Freeman spun around under caution. That's not going to help him any as they come through 3 and 4 for the final time under the caution flag. And what a heartwarming victory this is going to be. He had one taken away from him at Chicagoland, but today Jacob Johnson can truly celebrate as he comes off turn 4 for the final time. He's not going to cross the finish line first. That's going to go to the lap cars ahead of him. But Jacob Johnson, off of 4, is going to take the checkered flag, and he is your winner at the Springfield Mile main event, with Jack Porkins in 2nd place, Michael Edwards 3rd, Nick Ortiz with his first top 5 in a long time in 4th place, Lane Sanders, his first top 5 since his win at Rockingham, will take 5th, Edwards having a strong comeback, Nick Ortiz started 41st in this race, and he's already climbed up to 4th at the end.
My goodness, I can't even believe that this race has gone like it did. I mean, two weeks in a row with this crazy
San Donato will cross the line in 6th. Jordan Presto with his first career top 10 in 7th. Alexa Lutchen may take the points lead with an 8th place finish. Andres Molina 9th. And Bobo Jones rounds out your top 10. But man, looking at King, he's trying to make his way back up. Yeah. That's a tough break for the 18. Yeah. He was running so well. He was doing so good. He had the win in the bag. And instead, he finishes 22nd.
Yeah, and you have to feel for the 24 as well, because that's another outside of the top 10 finish for him, and it's just the breaks don't come for the 24 car.
They showed the speed though, and with this race definitely going to be on one of our series schedules next year, Ace can look forward to his next shot at the win. This has been a one-of-a-kind race with a one-of-a-kind finish. And this race will go down in history as one of the many thrillers this series has shown in the last few weeks.
Absolutely. I completely agree, and it just keeps on getting better every single week. The entertainment value is incredibly high, and it's incredible how these drivers are able to maneuver around and race the whole thing, and then at the very end it all changes. So I love watching, and I love being here to watch these races and bring them to you.
And next up we head to Pensacola for another super speedway race. It's a 3-mile high banked oval with lots of 3 wide, lots of battling for the lead, and I hope you'll join us for that race as well.